But to me, big is kind of yesterday's news. I don't mean to say that in a denigrating way, because big is complicated, high volume makes it difficult. But what's really interesting to me are some of the other factors. Doug Laney is a Gartner analyst who coined the 3 V's of big data. This was on the news. I don't think I paid much attention to it until I started hearing NPR stories about Russian crop failures and wildfires that blew up nationwide. So the whole country of Russia was on fire at this time, and Russia's a big country, right? So there were large amounts of land that were burning. So we have some people with decision-making interests that would like to use analytics. They have some kind of strategic goals. They articulate those goals, and people who are in analytics look for analytical opportunities within these strategic business goals. We want to validate these models against actual usage, so we want to know that these people out here can benefit by using these models. We want to measure that. We want to do that in quantitative ways. So we want analytics for our analytics, right? We're going to build an analytical model, and then we're going to monitor and measure whether it's doing the job that it's intended to do. And so just to give you a sense, this is called the emerging technologies hype cycle. Gartner does hype cycles for all kinds of technologies. Here's where big data sat as of last summer on the hype cycle. So guess what you have to look forward to? At least another few months of inflated expectations from the big data, all the big data language. Organization that's not already doing advanced analytics, these are the things that you have to worry about. New skill sets, new infrastructure, different architectures than the ones that you might be familiar with, which technologies to choose, what tools to use. Do we need to hire data scientists, and how hard is that? How expensive are they? Data coming from everywhere, how do we deal with it? Finding needles in haystacks can be pretty overwhelming, and business demand.
But there's another approach to schemas, which I refer to as a predicate schema. And that basically says, we'll store whatever data you like. We'll have square pegs, round pegs, whatever you like, but we use the schema as a mechanism to say, are these pegs round or not? It becomes a way to test the data that's stored to see if it's in the appropriate shape. When we're looking at the NoSQL world, we have to think about the differences between the aggregate-oriented and the non-aggregate-oriented databases. And the aggregate-oriented, because of the notion of putting things together in aggregates, allows us to think about consistency. Transactions become less important because of that. And also because of that, as we bring in replication and distribution, we end up with this trade-off of consistency and liveness. His approach to this issue of what is the value of software design basically runs like this. His argument I would lay out as this way. Bad software design is a sin! If you hear people saying that you should push inappropriate responsibilities together, that is Satan speaking! And if you should ever choose to name a variable badly, it will be branded on your flesh as you burn in a fire's hell! Now, is the user interface nice? Is the code nicely structured? All of these things are different things that we can talk about as quality. But there's a very important distinction that comes across these things. And that is that some of these things are not visible to the people who buy the software. But the really interesting thing is notice that that trade-off only occurs until those lines cross. Right? I refer to this as the design payoff line. If you're below that line, then you've got this trade-off. But once you're above that line, there is no trade-off. Making the quality lower will actually slow you down. And this is the heart of the problem. I now know how we should have built the system. I didn't know when we started, and I made mistakes because of that. But now I know, a year later. How many people have had that sensation? Everybody, right?